So Brandon, obviously a few days away from that big fight with Pantoja. I have the feeling that it's a special fight for you, given the history between you two and the fact that he beat you 2 times already. Is it a special feeling to have that fight?
I mean, definitely has a different flavor for sure. For all the history in the past with him, I lost against him twice in the past, and that made me feel extra motivated to get the victory for sure. But at the same time, the motivation comes from from my legacy. I need to keep building my legacy. Last time when I did my first defense, I lost the title. Then I came back. I win against Davison Figueiredo and get the title back. So now this is my next, my first title defense. I think I have more mature. I have more experience to manage all the situations I think affect me a little in the past. So now I feel very calm. I feel very. I just knowing my training camp was very good.
We know your history, obviously cut by the UFC, come back and become champion, very inspirational. Would it be symbolic to beat Pantoja, because he beat you 2 times already before it was the last fight before you went back to LFA? Would it be symbolic of your evolution?
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like that's part of my legacy, I had this crazy rivalry with Davison 2 years in a row, thinking in the same guy. Maybe a little bit stop against Kai Kara France for the interim, but then I finished that rivalry. I go with another rivalry against Alexandre Pantoja, but I mean, it's an extra motivation, All the things you're saying right now is like, hey, you have the opportunity to keep building that legacy. Imagine if I win. Imagine if I win in front of a lot of people, thousands of people in the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, very close to my hometown, to Tijuana, with a lot of Mexican flags around. That's cool, special.
You mentioned that, but you went with Davison for nearly 2 years or even a little more. Is it good to have new opponents with Kai Kara France and no Pantoja?
I mean, it's a different air. It's a different fresh air for sure. At the same time, I fought against him. I know him very well, but no, for sure, I feel so happy to just fight and have another game plan, another kind of training, another kind of a training camp for another opponent for sure.
Yeah, but finally, it's the third time you fight with Pantoja, so it's a little like Davison.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, last fight against Pantoja was 2018, so I don't know. It's different.
When you remember about those 2 first fights, did he have your number? Did he know how to beat you at that time?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't want to say excuses. I hate excuses. To all the people know me, I don't like to start to say like, oh, this happened, that's why I lost. No. I mean, at the end of the day, I accept the fight, and it was my fault if I win or lost. So I need to be responsible for that. But the only thing I can say was, I mean, that training camp, that fight against Alexandre Pantoja was not the time for me. Okay, again, was my fault because I accept that fight. But that training camp was terrific. That moment was terrific. So I don't know. Now I have another opportunity to make something different for sure.
You feel like a different fighter from that time? Very different?
Man, I don't need to say nothing, man. I don't need to say I'm a different fighter or whatever, because the people can see it for sure. Starting from the technical part, my footwork, my hands, my jiu-jitsu, my wrestling, and finishing with with the mental part. I'm different.
You talked about that, obviously, the Mexican part, the fact that you were the first champion, and now you have Alexa, you have Yair that have belts. How important is it for your legacy to have been that first one and to represent all your country right now in the UFC?
I mean, talking about my legacy as a Mexican, first of all, Alexa, Yair, I'm just happy for them, that they are doing an amazing job. Actually, I know them since 2014, I think so. And I know they work so hard for these dreams, for those belts. So I'm just happy for them. And talking specifically for me, man, I'm doing history for my country. I feel I'm opening doors for the next generations. Now, starting from that, they need just to keep working hard, with the discipline, with the sacrifices. But I'm just happy to help to my country for sure.
We don't know that because we are from France, but how much of a superstar are you in Mexico? It's like you cannot go in the street?
So yeah, for sure it's different. You know, I remember my life before, you know, the belts and whatever, and you can go to the, I don't know, to a coffee shop and get a coffee or whatever. Now it's different, you know. Now it's different, and it's part of this, and I understand, and I'm very grateful for that too.
Any news about any UFC Mexico?
Hopefully, man. Hopefully. So, I think after this event, UFC will can't put any excuse in the future to go. So, my goal is to win this fight this Saturday. Talk with the UFC and say like, hey man, let's do something in Mexico. Okay, I'm open to do it.
Also a possibility to see you, because I know there's the September 16 card with Alexa against Valentina too, and it's the weekend of the Mexican independence. Any chance that you would, if everything goes right Saturday night, that you would fancy to be on that card?
Man, the thing is, in this point, in this level of my career, it's not just about the injuries. It's not just about the body and whatever. The mental part is very important, man. You know, and you need to recover yourself of that stress of the training camp, the cameras, you know, the diet, whatever, even your stomach for the diet. So I don't know, man. It's too soon. It's too soon. I mean, I'm fighting July 8th. This September 16 is in like, I think less than 2 months. I don't remember. So I think it's too close. But for sure, if I'm not I'm not fighting there. I'll be supporting the event 100%.
You talked about your division and the legacy that you want to show in that division. In your division, there's the guy DJ that set some crazy record with 11 defense. When you think about that, you think that's something possible, or that's so far away what he did that you can't even think about that?
It's a different era. It's a different moment of the division, you know. What Demetrius did in the past is amazing, and that record is one of the records who, like, you watch it like, I don't know, it's long, you know. How many title defense he had? So what a crazy journey for him. But man, at the same time, I mean, he fought for the title in his second or third fight in the UFC, right? So the generations, the times are different. I'm just trying to keep winning. I just want to win. I don't care nothing about in the future right now. I'm like very focused on the present. I'm very focused on Pantoja and keep building that legacy for sure.